Felix here from Hong Kong. I want to give you a quick recap on what's going on with Evergrande and what's really going to happen here over the next few weeks. So, Evergrande did not pay their US dollar denominated bonds yesterday. They also did not pay their renminbi denominated bonds the 2 days before. What they did do with their renminbi bonds is that they settled them by private negotiation, so some sort of barter type deal, probably at some sort of discount. Now, what's going to happen here? Well, with the US dollar bond, if you don't pay the coupon, which is the interest on the bond, then you have 30 days to rectify that. Otherwise, you go into default. If you go into default, your bondholders can take you to court and get you declared insolvent. They don't want to do that. They don't want to have that default yet. What is therefore likely? Well, the Chinese government has said the following to Evergrande. Pay your wealth customers, so that's your retail investors who invested some money into Evergrande Wealth. Pay them back first. Secondly, make sure all those migrant workers working on construction sites get paid. That's number 2 priority. And then number 3 is don't default anytime soon. So how do they do that? Well, if they can get the cash together to complete 600,000 apartments that are currently in construction. And on those 600,000 apartments, Evergrande will have received deposits from off-plan retail buyers. So it's very common here for people to buy an apartment that hasn't been constructed yet, and you pay a certain percentage of the price down on that apartment. So if they can complete those apartments, Evergrande will get an enormous pile of cash coming in because all of those retail buyers will be forced under their contracts to pay the balance. They could then use that balance to pay off other creditors. So what's going to happen here? Over the next quarter, there are about $360 million in interest payments due to bondholders. Now, they can delay those for 30 days, but they can't not pay them completely. So they have 2 options here. A, they don't pay US dollar bondholders and pay domestic ones, which is what they seem to have done this week. Now, if they by the end of the next 29 days do not pay the US dollar denominated bonds, you know what that means? It means that the market will reprice all Chinese US dollar denominated bonds. So that means, the neo-convertible bonds, the Alibaba bonds, and the bonds of every other company out there that is Chinese. And the market will apply a massive discount onto those bonds because suddenly the order of getting paid has changed. The Chinese government is not going to be keen on this because despite a lot of the media reporting, the Chinese government seems very keen to maintain access to international capital markets, whether it's through IPOs or through the bond markets. And therefore, I don't think this is going to happen. So yes, they might pay them late, but I do think they're going to pay them, at least in the short term. What's going to happen after that is likely a negotiated settlement. Now, the people who've been buying these bonds have been buying them at, say, 30 cents on the dollar, a massive discount. These are junk bonds. The people buying them are sophisticated institutional investors like JP Morgan and BlackRock and HSBC and so on. So they know what they're buying. If Evergrande goes to them and says, look, we're not going to pay you interest, but we are going to redeem your bonds early, and we're going to give you, say, 40 cents on the dollar or 50 cents on the dollar, and you paid 30 cents for them, you make a nice profit, everyone wins, and we've just halved our debt. That's the kind of negotiation you would normally expect to see when a company is in this financial situation of distress, and the bondholders buying it at 30 cents never expect to get the full dollar back. They understand that, and they're happy to get a big fat haircut. So that's the way I see this. Now, in 2022, there are billions of dollars of bonds repayable. So by then, at least, there needs to be a solution. How's this going to happen? Where are they going to get the cash? Central government is not going to bail out Evergrande. That's not happening. What they have said is they've instructed all the local provinces to send their accountants and lawyers into Evergrande and to establish what's really going on a regional level, and to be prepared, if needed, make emergency measures, i.e. lend support. the way that could work out is that, say you are a province in China, Evergrande has lots of land in your province which it hasn't built on yet, which it hasn't sold on. That land could get sold to the local banks, which are all state-owned, generally speaking. The state banks therefore pay some cash to Evergrande. That would allow Evergrande to complete the construction that's in progress and therefore pay the wages of all the workers there, which is again in the interest of local governments, keep unemployment down and keep social unrest out. And that would then not just allow Evergrande to complete that construction, but it would mean that they would also get funds from the eventual retail buyers on those apartments who are contractually obliged to pay those. They could then take that cash, and with that, they could settle some of these bonds at big discounts. So my view is that this is going to be more structured than people give it credit for. My view is that Evergrande isn't going to get bailed out. Evergrande's a thing of the past. It is going to get deconstructed. It's going to get taken apart in a somewhat orderly manner. And the next week or two are going to be crucial because the market will wait a week and say, okay, they haven't paid the bond, but we still have 21 days till they have to. After 2 weeks, the market's going to get a bit more jittery. In week 3, the market's going to be hyperventilating because we only have 7 days and they still haven't told us what they want to do. So the longer they drag this out, the harsher the impact on Chinese equities will be, and to some extent on all equities around the world and certainly bond markets. So China realizes that. There are a lot of smart accountants and lawyers working there at the moment, and I do think they're going to figure this out. My guess would be that over the Golden Week, which kicks off here at the beginning of October, where basically China is on holiday for a week, that is, I think, likely we're only going to get these announcements. Typically, they do these things on Sundays. I don't know why, but that's typically when they do them. And that's really what's going to happen here. In the meantime, all Chinese equities, if you overlay them with the 333 stock, which is Evergrande Hong Kong, and I'll show you one here on the chart. If you pull up a comparison 333, you can see that the two, this is NEO here, for example, work hand in hand these last few days. So when Evergrande goes down, Chinese equities that are not affected by this go down. When Evergrande recovers, like in the last 3 days here, then the good Chinese companies recover, and then when it goes down again, they go down. So there is a correlation here. It isn't good for stocks. A lot of people will be looking for opportunities, though, to buy things here. And if you listen to the head of JP Morgan's equity research, he said, we are looking at opportunities here in the real estate space. So they are buying property developers that are less leveraged. So there is always money to be made, and always bear that in mind. If you want to learn a bit more about how to make money, I've got a free options course out just for you, so take advantage of it. felixfriends.org/free options. And that is for all of you, whether you're already trading options or whether you know nothing about it. It'll teach you quite a bit about it. You'll understand the space quite a bit more. If you are ready to make more of an investment in yourself, do check out my long form options course, which is about 100 lectures that are practical strategies for all portfolio sizes. And it's all about reducing risk compared to stock trading. That's really what options trading is all about, and it's very successful at that. If you simply want to build long-term lasting wealth with stocks, then I also have just the thing for you in the Master Stock course. Both come with beautiful private communities where you can chat with like-minded investors and myself, and we do so every single day. I answer questions every single day. You're also always very welcome to drop me an email with any questions whatsoever. I will definitely reply you. Send an email to felix@goatacademy.org. felix@goatacademy.org. I love hearing from you. I really do. It's one of the funnest parts of my day is replying people. It's emails in the morning. So do that. Let me know down below in the comments what you think about Evergrande, what you think it means for Chinese equities. What do you think it means for US equities? And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thank you very much for watching.